Hello everybody, this is Mrs. Lehman from Math with Mrs. Lehman. We're going to pause this video for a brief advertisement from IXL. IXL, now available on the App Store. Alright, the kids told me to, that was lame, but the kids told me to do that. How was my advertising voice? Good?
Really? It needs to be more bold.
More bold? Okay.
Dramatic.
IXL, now available in the App Store. Whoa, yeah, all right. You guys are so full of baloney. All right, now, anyway. Okay, so we just finished doing some Google Classroom stuff. I told the kids all about the IXL updates as far as now it is available on the App Store or in the App Store. So if you have an Apple device, you can log in or sign in and download that, and as long as you're signed in, I'll still get your data on that info. You just got to filter it to 6th grade, okay? So anyway, if you're a parent watching this and your child is asking to download IXL, please say yes. All right.
Yay!
That's the only thing I'm vouching for you kids. Continue solving percent problems in lesson 26 is what we're going to do today. So this class is in need of doing the bottom of 85. So example 2. So we're going to start there. Okay, yesterday we talked about this little formula, is over of equals percent out of 100. Right? We already knew part over whole equals percent out of 100, and is over of equals percent out of 100 are the written or verbal clues you may hear or see that tell us what is the partial amount and what is the total amount in this setup. So this example says, of the 25 girls on the Alden Middle School soccer team, 40% also play on a travel team. So we're going to underline some key stuff here. It says, of the 25 girls, let me get an actual marker here. Of the 25 girls, 40% play on a travel team. We want to figure out how many of the girls on the team also play on the travel team, or a travel team. All right, so we are going to set up our own proportion after we wrote down is over of equals percent out of 100. That 100 is like free, woohoo! So now we've got to decide what we put where, okay? So what's one number that we have in this, Ava?
25 goes on the bottom.
Okay, she says there's 25 girls. Why did you pick the bottom?
Because that's the total, and the total goes with the total.
Yep, and what clue did you have there, Sophia? What word?
The 25 girls.
Very good. Of the 25 girls. So we know this is the total amount of girls. All right, what else can we put in here? Stone.
We could put 40% above the 100.
Very good. Now that 40% represents the percentage of girls that are what? On the travel team. So we're looking for the part, or the partial amount, I should say, of that team that is on the travel team. So, all right. So we're looking for a connection from our completed side to this incomplete side. Right? Well, to get from 100 to 25, what magical thing do I need to do, Lola? Divide by what?
4.
Very good. So we're going to take 100, divide it by 4. That's going to give you 25. We're going to do the same thing to 40. 40 divided by 4, everybody, is what?
10.
10. So our answer would be 10. 10 of the 20. No, it's not 10%. It's 10 out of 25, which is 40%. 10 of the 25 girls play on a travel team. And just a reminder, if we have a fraction, in this case 10 over 25, right, 10 25ths, we can always use our calculator. So 10 divided by 25, when you divide that, what should I get for a decimal if we're saying that's 40%? Tori, nice and loud. 0.4, so it would turn into 40%, right? So let's see. 0.4, we'd move that decimal place too. We know that's 40%, right? All right, let's go on to the next page. We're going to keep practicing this stuff. Example 3, it says the Alden Middle School girls soccer team won 80% of its games this season. So this is a pretty good team, right? They're winning, you know, that's pretty close to 100%. It's not like they're winning 10% of their games or something. So we know that they're a good team. 80% of its games. And that's the amount they won, right? What percent did they lose if they won 80%, Campbell? 20%. Very good, 20%. It says if the team won 12 games, how many games did it play? We're not going to use a ton of different methods. We're just going to use this setup. All right, let's fill in our new saying. Is over of equals? Very good. All right, so again, line equals line. The setup is what's going to make or break you on these problems, okay? The proportions aren't terribly difficult. It's really putting the numbers in the correct places. So right here, what is the freebie? 100, yep. Last year I jokingly called them the free gummy bears because if you're in certain stores where they give out free samples, it may begin with S, end with AMS Club. Or yes, Calvin, it's AMS Club. You know, if you're a member there, they will give you free samples for stuff. And I said, how many of you guys would walk by and not take the free gummy bears, right? Most people are going to say, yay, the free gummy bears. So in this math problem, why would you not write that down, right? It's like a freebie. Anywho, so what else can we fill out in this other than our free gummy bears here? Amaya?
80%.
Very good. 80% goes right up above 100 because we know percents are out of 100. And this is the percent they won, right? Mm-hmm. So if it helps you, right, that's the percent they won. All right, we now need to figure out where this 12 goes. It says if the team won 12 games. Calvin, what do you think?
I was going to ask a question.
All right, ask a question.
Wouldn't it go up top because that's not how many games they've played, that's how many games they've won?
That's perfect, Calvin. Yes, you are correct. So it does go on top because we said that they won 80%. We put that as a partial amount, right? 12 is a partial amount. They won 12. So we are looking for the total amount, the part that goes with 100% of their games. Probably in this case, we didn't really need is over of equals percent over 100 because we didn't hear the words is or of. So we could have just used part over whole equals percent out of 100 for this one. So my bad. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get from 80 to 12. Can we do that? No. What are we going to need to do here? Kaylin?
Simplify.
Simplify. Very good. We need to take 80 over 100. What's their greatest common factor? The biggest number we can use to get 80 and also use it to get 100. Campbell? 20. Very good. So we're going to divide 80 by 20 and 100 by 20. All right, what does that come out to? Nope. 80, how many times does 20 go into 80? 4 times. How many times does 20 go into 100? 5 times, all right? All right, now we're looking for this connection. To get from 4 to 12, what do we multiply by? 3. To get to this side, 5 times 3 is 15. All right, so 15 total games. So we said they won most of their games, right? 80% is most of their games. Does 12 out of 15 sound like that's most of the games? Yeah, so you kind of want to use some number sense here and just check, estimate to see, does that look right? Does that sound right? Yes?
They only lost 3 games, which is really
Very good, yeah. So maybe a math wizard trick you'd see in this question is how many games did they lose, right? So then you could say, Well, they lost 20% out of 100 and set it up that way. Or you could set it up the way we did and then take 15, subtract the 12 to know that the other part, that 3, is what they lost. So there's a few different approaches, but nice job, Ava. All right, let's move on to the next question, which is below this one. Okay, we're going to pretend that we're going to a zoo here. There are 60 animal exhibits at the local zoo. We want to figure out what percent of the zoo's exhibits does each animal class represent. So, they have mammals, for example. There are 30 mammal exhibits. So that's the partial amount, right? So partial amount over the total amount. How many total were there? 60, yep. So 30 out of 60. A lot of you guys can simplify this one pretty easily. 30 out of 60 simplifies to what fraction? 1/2. Cadence? 1/2, very good. So this is probably one that you should commit to memory. All right, what is 1/2 as a percent? If you had half a dollar, if you have half, what percentage is that, Amaya?
50%.
Very good, 50%. So for some of you that aren't seeing that yet, if we wanted to scale this up out of 100, you take 2 times 50, that gives you 100. 1 times 50 is 50. 50 out of 100 is 50%. Another method would be to take a calculator. 30 divided by 60 is going to give you 0.5, right? You move that decimal place twice, you're going to get 50%. Any questions? So we have options here, kids. All right, let's go to the next one. Reptiles and amphibians, 15 out of a total of 60. Does anyone know what that simplifies to? What are they both divisible by, first of all? We can go bigger. We can go bigger than 5. Tori. You can go bigger.
15.
15, yep. So if we divide 15 by 15, we're going to get 1. If we divide 60 by 15, we're going to get 4. Yep. So 1/4. If you had a quarter of a dollar, right, 1/4. What percent do you have, Peyton? 25%. Very good. And if you're wondering where we're coming up with this number, you take 1, divide it by 4, you're going to get 0.25 or 25%. If you were to take 15 out of the 60 reptiles and amphibians, or out of the total amount, 15 are reptiles and amphibians, you're going to get 0.25, so 25%. Or you can also say 1/4 equals what out of 100. You multiply that by 25. 1 times 25 is 25. So 25 out of 100 equals 25. So again, we have lots of different options. All right, fish and insects. That'd be 12 out of how many? 60. What will that simplify to? Does 12 go into 60? How many times? 5 times. So that's going to simplify this fraction to 1/5. Another one you should commit to memory. If you have 100% and you're dividing it into 5 sections, what is each section worth? Amaya? Very good, 20%. So again, if you want to see that, so we simplified it to 1/5. We want to figure out what that is out of 100. 5 times 20 is 100. 1 times 20 is 20. All right, and then there are 3 bird exhibits out of 60. Man, they could do better with the birds here. All right, 3 out of 60. What will that simplify to? They're both divisible by what, I should say, Kaylin? 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 60 divided by 3 is 20. Very good. So we're going to scale 1/20th up to something out of 100. Now, let's think about this. 1 out of 20, is that going to be a big or small percentage of this zoo? A pretty small percentage, right? So what, we scale this up, 20 times what gives us 100? Times 5. 1 times 5 is? 5. So what percentage is that? 5%. Now, I just want to show you one more thing. You know, if this is accounting for all of the animals, right, these percentages should add up to what? 100, right? So we've got half of the zoo made up of mammals. Add another 25% that are reptiles and amphibians at 75%. You add another 20% of fish and insects. That's 95%, right? Throw in the other 5% birds, and you have 100% of your animals. Yes?
I don't do it that way.
How do you do it?
I add up the first three numbers, then I subtract the whole from the numbers.
To
that
find
they
the
add
last
up
one?
to. Yes.
That works, yep, as long as you're sure that that is representative of 100% of the animals, right? If you were told that these make up 100%, then you would be golden doing that. Nice job. Okay, we're going to move on to, actually we're going to skip a few things. We're going to go to your homework page. We're going to go to page 90. Tomorrow, I plan on having you guys practice this is over of thing a little bit more. Part over whole equals percent out of 100. So lesson 26 is percent of a quantity. So, page 90, yes. Is that what I'm on?
Yeah, page 87. We're on 109. Yeah. That's on page 90.
Oh,
109.
we've got to do this one too. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. We've got a few more things to do. All right, so we're on page, sorry, 87. All right. It was too good to be true. Is over of equals percent out of 100. We're going to start with that. We're going to underline the key thing. So let's go ahead and read this. It says find 40% of 60 using two different strategies. We're just going to use the proportion, okay? So 40% of 60. So we know percents are out of 100. You're going to take that one for free, okay? What percent can I put above that, Lola? Oh, we have the 100 here. What goes above it? Very good, the 40%. So 40 out of 100. And then it says of 60. So are we going to put that on the top or on the bottom, Zulima? On the what? Very good, on the bottom. Look at, we said is over of, so it's out of 60. We're going to put an empty box on top because we want to know what is 40% of the number 60. Does that make sense, everyone? All right. So again, if you can't divide or multiply, you need to simplify. So we're going to divide the top and bottom by what greatest common factor? We could go to a lower factor of 10, right? And that would work. Or we can go to lowest, which would be 20. So if we divide by 20, what are we going to get? 2 over 5. Yep. So now we're looking for the connections here. Right? To get from 5 to 60, what are we multiplying by? Riley? More than times 6. 5 times 12 gives you 60, right? So 2 times 12 is what? 24 out of 60. Right, because if we were to simplify, someone just said, in case you couldn't hear on there, if you would have simplified divided by 10, simplified by dividing by 10, you would have gotten 4 out of 10, right? Then you'd multiply by 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So there are different ways. Sometimes it won't work unless you go all the way to simplest form, okay? This one would, if you didn't. Am I keeping you up, Stone? All right, so 40% of 60 is 24. So the setup is crucial on this. You've got to make sure you've set it up appropriately, otherwise you're going to get it wrong, okay? So they could have easily said 24 is 40% of what number, right? They could have worded it like that and they would have had the 60 missing. Or maybe they said 24 is what percent of 60. They could have also worded it like that, and you just would need to know what to plug in. All right, let's go to the bottom example here. It says 15% of an amount is 30. Okay, whoops, I just drew that with my sleeve. All right, line equals line. We're going to write is over of equals percent out of 100. All right, put the 100 down because that's a given. All right, so what other percent have we been given there? 15, so we can put that right over the 100. All right, it says of an amount. Do they tell us what amount? No, they don't. So this is of an amount. This is an unknown right here. We don't know what that amount is. So that's where we're going to put our empty box. All right, and then see where it says is 30? That's why that one goes on top. So the partial amount is 30. That's 15% of our unknown number. All right, so to get to 15 to 30, what are we multiplying by? By 2. 100 times 2 is 200. Okay. I'm going to quickly write this down because I want to show you something on your homework before class is dismissed. So your answer is 200. Okay. Go to page 90, please. That's your homework. You're going to have for what? I'll come back to you, okay? If you go to page 90, you have 109, 110. You guys can use, hold on one second. You can use line equals line, percents are out of 100, right? Now down here, they tell you that these 10 by 10 grids, so there's 100 boxes, are worth 800, right? So when you set this up, you got to think each one is worth 1%, right? So each box represents 1%. How much would that be as a number if there's 100 boxes and it's worth 800? Yes, somebody said it. It would be 8, right? So each box is worth 8. So now you got to figure out what would 17 of those boxes be worth, and in this case, what would 83 be? Thank you for watching Math with Mrs. Lehman. Have a great day. And the kids are reminding me to say, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.